It's always a great day when you can test a new car at a racetrack. We're driving Alfa Romeo's highly anticipated Giulia sedan, seen here in its hottest QV form. And it sounds pretty awesome as well. But I gotta say, I'm a little bit nervous about today. There's only 4 of these in the country, conditions at Sydney Motorsport Park aren't what you call perfect, and there's a bunch of horsepower going through the rear wheels. But what I'm most nervous about is that the Giulia is not going to be quite as good as Alfa says it is. Alfa Romeo truly is a legacy brand in the world of motoring. It's 106 years old and it's built some of the world's best and most beautiful cars. But Alfa has been a shadow of its former self in the last 20 years. Sure, there's been some bright points like the Brera and more recently the 4C, but that's about it. Alfa Romeo though is on the comeback trail. In fact, the company is calling the Giulia the beginning of its renaissance. And if the Giulia QV really is the start of something new, then Alfa is heading in the right direction. This is a serious car, and one that can be legitimately compared to established rivals like the BMW M3 and the Mercedes AMG C63. Parent company Fiat poached the best and brightest people from across its business, including Ferrari, and told them to build something very special. The Giulia QV is the first of a line of new Alfas to come, and it packs quite a punch. Well, first time out in the Giulia on the track. This is one heck of an engine, 2.9 litres, V6 twin turbo, essentially straight out of Ferrari. It is urgent, it is angry. With the dynamic mode engaged, the throttle travel is minimal. All you're doing is applying a big toe as we roll out onto the straight at Sydney Motorsport Park. Holy mackerel! That's 7,000 RPM, we're still going. Out back there's rear wheel drive and an electronic limited slip diff with torque vectoring. And in the middle there's an 8-speed auto and massive Brembo brakes. Countering all of that performance are safety features like auto emergency braking, lane departure warning and radar cruise control. The inside of the top spec Giulia is built for both performance and comfort. The driving position is blessedly normal too, with low sport seats, well placed pedals and a small chunky steering wheel. No more contorting like a circus performer to drive this Alfa. The paddles are fixed to the steering column, so the very natural feel. They're very large as well. Steering wheel is just perfectly sized. There's plenty of bite from the front end. Even though the dampers are in dynamic mode, there's still a lot of feel, there's a lot of movement, vertical movement, which allows the car to key into the tarmac. This is quite a bumpy track and the car is handling it really well. Of course, track testing doesn't give you the complete picture of how a car will be, but it really quickly tells you how its character is, how it's going to handle most situations. And so far, so impressed. Was I right to be nervous about how Alfa would go with the Giulia QV? Absolutely. This, as they say, is one of the most critical cars in the brand's 106-year history. Am I nervous now about how the car will go for them? Not at all. Alfa has invested more than $10 billion in its future. It has poached the best and brightest people from around the FCA empire, including Ferrari. 800 people were locked away in skunk works to get this thing right and future Alfas right. I am excited. This is the first Alfa I have ever driven that I would look at buying. I can't afford it. It's $144,000. But revolution can start from the top. If this car is a pointer to Alfas to come, the brand is in a good pace moving forward into its next 100 years. Alfa says that the Giulia is the first in a long line of new cars to come for the venerable Italian brand. And while we can't give you a definitive answer today on how good it is, what I can say is my nervousness has been replaced with anticipation. If the Giulia is the direction that Alfa Romeo is heading, then they may have reinvented themselves for the 21st century. You want to read the full review? Click right here. And don't forget to click subscribe if you want to stay on top of all of our latest videos.